Hi everyone, Ashley here. Thank you for joining us this evening for our Knowledge Nibble on our Skilled Companion Dog program. I'm sorry I couldn't be here in person tonight, but I couldn't be more proud to be a part of the direction and momentum that this program is gaining. In 2017, approximately 6.3 million Canadians aged 15 or older have been diagnosed with a disability. Many of these individuals struggle to find independence, security, purpose, social acceptance. Skilled companion dogs can help them regain these things. So NSD has long recognized the therapeutic value of pets. Some of the benefits include decreased stress and anxiety, increased psychological well-being, a sense of purpose, companionship, sometimes an increased sense of safety, and increased opportunities for exercise and social interaction. Some fast facts about our companion program. So, founded in 2002 and formalized in 2009, and proudly in 2022, we created our companion college training program. So our skilled companion dogs do not have public access, but they graduate with skills similar to our service dogs. Minimally, it takes 4 volunteers and up to 2 years to raise one companion dog. The companion program allows NSD to utilize more of our dogs, which helps even more families. And to date, NSD has placed 168 companion dogs. Our companion team is made up of both client services and trainers. So on our client services team, we have Emerald and Amy, and on our training side, we have Emma and Paula as our companion dog trainers, and myself, Ashley, as our companion program coordinator and trainer. Our dogs. So NSD has our own breeding program, primarily using Labrador Retrievers with some Golden. Dogs are selected for breeding. Dogs that are selected for breeding are held to a high health and temperament requirement. These include conformation and joint health, individual and litter health, genetic testing, and behavior tests. We are an ABI accredited facility, which means that we are enrolled in the North American Breeding Cooperative, or ABC, in which we both donate and receive puppies from other service schools. Skilled companion dogs have personality traits that make them better suited to work from home. They may have behaviors that aren't always appropriate out in public. They might have jacket sensitivities or be slightly uncomfortable in public spaces, yet still have a strong desire to work. Some of the traits that we look for in a companion dog are excellent home behaviors, great leash skills, a work drive, and a desire to cuddle and be near their person. In 2022, National Service Dogs reinvented our companion dog program to provide skilled companion dogs to children with a physical disability, children with a mental health diagnosis, as well as to adults with a developmental disability. Our skilled companion dogs undergo approximately 2 years of training, including the basic obedience and then support skills. They do not have public access and instead provide support in the home and spaces where pet dogs are welcome. Learners begin training from just 3 days old and are closely assessed in several areas throughout their lives, including their temperament and behavior. Potential companion dogs enter NSD Companion College, where they train 2 days a week at our Cambridge location. They're taught new support skills and polish up their walking and obedience behaviors. They come to Companion College for roughly 3 months before being matched and placed with a client. Our client service team conducts phone and home visits as a part of the screening and onboarding process to ensure a safe and healthy environment for the skilled companion dog. This also allows us to provide a very personalized match for each client and each dog. Families receive both online and in-person training sessions before bringing home their new companion dog. And NSD conducts an in-person visit within the first month of placement to provide training support and assist with the transition. We also retain ownership of the companion dog for at least the first year. And then after that, a final home visit is completed where the ownership is signed over to the family. Skilled companion dogs are valued at $30,000 throughout their working life. However, each dog is provided free of charge to approved clients. NSD receives no government funding and relies entirely on donations from the public, sponsors, fundraising, and community supports. I do want to say a huge, giant, enormous thank you to Roz Pet Foods for sponsoring our entire 2022 and 2023 companion graduates, as well as sponsoring NSD Roz, who graduated as a skilled companion dog earlier this year. NSD has a large community of wonderful volunteers, including breeding and whelping homes, puppy raisers, adult raisers, sitters, and drivers who ensure that the dogs get to school. Each graduating dog has a team of approximately 3 to 5 volunteers who have helped in the 2+ year journey. It truly does take a village to raise, train, and support each of these dogs. And I wanted to take a moment to reflect back and look at all of our graduating dogs and congratulate each team, everybody along the way that has helped. And I do apologize if I have missed any photos of anyone in their team. So 2021, 2022, and our 2023 graduates. So we have NSD Kima, NSD Faro, NSD Monroe, NSD Mocha, NSD Pixel, NSD Sammy, NSD Scotia, NSD Roz, NSD Scotty, NSD Reese, NSD Tesla, NSD Walnut, and NSD Blue. Before I go, I just wanted to say one more huge thank you to everybody who came out this evening to listen to our knowledge nibbles, and especially a huge thank you to absolutely everyone involved with NSD, whether you are raiser, sitter, driver, donating. We could not do this without you. We could not bring these dogs to families and change people's lives without each and every single one of you. So from my heart, thank you so much.
So hi, everyone. My name is Nancy. So we just received NSD Roz, our companion dog for our son, Julian. And it's been about 7 months since we've had her, and it has been quite amazing. And I'm going to share our journey, but I have to go back to the beginning as to how we actually started with NSD. So I'm just going to, oh, Sophia, come here. It's not going to the next page. Okay, so you're going to have to do that. Okay, so this is my my son Julian. He was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder when he was 2 years old, and in the other picture you see this is his recent picture, so he's 18 now, going on 19, and he has had quite the journey with autism. So between the ages of 2 and 5, Julian was actually nonverbal, so he had no words, and he had quite a few challenging behaviors because he couldn't communicate, he couldn't express himself. So we started him with ABA therapy, but we were always searching for something more, something to help him develop, to help with his communication, his socialization. And so that's when our journey started with NSD. Sophia, just come. Okay. So we started our journey with NSD with our service dog, Eli. And the reason I bring him up is because he's the reason we actually learned about NSD and actually got Julian the help that he needed early on in his life. Julian had a lot of behaviors that were very concerning. So he used to bolt, he used to leave. If we were in crowds of people, we had to hold his hand and he refused to hold our hand. So we knew that the dog would be something really important for him to keep him safe. He was also a great companion to him and they hung out a lot and he was a great comfort to him, but mostly he was there for security and safety and just making sure that Julian was okay. And he actually was the reason we started socializing. And so taking him to restaurants, taking him out to the mall, traveling, it was because of our service dog that we were able to start Julian on that journey of socialization and getting involved with people and being more comfortable in social environments. And then what happened was obviously Eli unfortunately passed, and it's been now about a year and a half, almost 2 years since he passed. And we knew that Julian, he kind of outgrew a service dog. So at the late years of Eli's life, Julian didn't really need a service dog. He needed more of a companion, somebody to just hang out with him, spend time with him, play with him. And so Eli wasn't really the best fit for that. And so we started to think about getting Julian a companion dog, and we ended up bringing Roz home, and it has been amazing. She's been a great dog for Julian. So at the beginning, it was a little difficult because Julian wasn't used to having a companion dog. He didn't know that he could just play with her and joke with her and have fun with her because he just wasn't used to that personality. She's very quirky, very rambunctious, and she actually really matches Julian's personality because he's a lot like that as well. He's got a great sense of humor, and so they're amazing together. But she basically, I'll just go on to the next page. Some of the things that we noticed that has helped Julian with having Roz was basically they are like two partners in crime. So basically they are, if Julian likes to create fun and exciting games, he'll create any type of game and she'll just go along with him. So it doesn't matter what he decides to do, she'll just follow him and just be willing to play any crazy game that he wants. He's made her into a Leaf fan. He has to have her by his side when he's watching the Leafs. Unfortunately, the season for them is over, but he had a great time watching the game with her. And he also loves having her after school. She likes to go down with him in the basement, and he'll usually give her a treat and she'll hang out with him. He does ABA therapy online after school, so she'll hang out with him and just sit and watch him do his ABA therapy. So those are just a few of the things that they like to do together. So again, ASD, it can be quite isolating, and Julian is a type of kid, although he's very social for a person on the autism spectrum, he likes to be with people, but when he's at home, he tends to like to be alone a lot. And we didn't like the fact that he was hanging out in the basement all the time by himself. So we found Roz was perfect to have that presence with him to just make him feel like he's not alone all the time. And so having her there has been really great, and she brings a lot of joy and just a lot of excitement to his day. Just going to share some of the other games that they also play together are hide and seek. Julian will hide and she'll go look for him. Monkey in the middle, which is really cute because my daughter gets involved as well. And so Roz will be the monkey in the middle, and she loves playing that. Sophia, come here. I'm trying to click on something. Okay. And so one of the things that I wanted Roz to learn was to go see Julian. So with our service dog, we taught him to go and see Julian when Julian was in distress, when he was having an anxiety issue, or he was having a meltdown when he was younger. So the dog would, I would just say, go see Julian, and he would run, and it would automatically break that moment of anxiety, would help him to just refocus, redirect his energy, and kind of snap out of that moment of anxiousness and stress. And so I wanted to teach Roz to do the same thing. And so I have a little short clip. I'm not sure if you're going to hear the audio, but if you don't hear it, basically I'm just saying, Roz, go see Julian, and you'll see she just automatically picked it up. And as you can see, she picked it up so quickly. Like, she's such a super smart dog. I couldn't believe how quickly she picked up everything we were trying to teach her. So we've used that several times. Now Julian doesn't really have meltdowns as much because he is older, and he has calmed his system. His nervous system has calmed down quite a bit, but he still tends to, he has a lot of OCD and anxiety. So we found that when he does have an anxious moment and Roz is there, and we'll just tell her to go see Julian, the moment does get less severe. His anxiety does decrease, and it doesn't last as long. And so that's definitely one of the things that we've noticed has really helped Julian. Oops. Okay. And so Roz is obviously part of our family, and we have tried to integrate her as much as possible in all areas of our family. So one of the things that she's really helped us with is with social opportunities. So we have a lot of neighbors that have dogs, and so we've had the dogs over playing with Roz, and it's given Julian a really nice opportunity to socialize with the neighbors, to have more interaction with people, more interaction outdoors. So she's helped us and helped Julian to spend more time outside as well, because he tends to be more of a homebody. He likes to stay inside more. And so getting him outside has been really good for him, having Roz bring him outside and play and do all sorts of fun things. And she also helps us to appreciate nature. And, you know, we take her for walks in the valley behind our house, and Julian likes to come with us. And it's given him an opportunity to appreciate the outdoors more. She's also very protective, which is something we didn't teach her. She just learned, she just automatically had this instinct to protect. And whenever there's somebody at the door, she's right there barking, ready to protect. And we love that. We actually really love the fact that she's so protective. So we're very blessed with her. Okay, so this slide here is it's a short video of Julian playing hockey with Roz. So we started this tradition with our service dog. He loved to play hockey on the driveway with Julian, and we wanted to continue that tradition because Julian absolutely loves playing hockey. He plays in a special needs league, but on his spare time likes to play as well at home, outside, on the driveway. So I'm just going to show you the short clip. And she's caught on very quickly. Like, she's amazing how fast she learned the game and went along with it. So I think this is Julian's favorite game to play with her, is hockey on the driveway. And it doesn't matter the weather, she'll play regardless, whether it's snowing, raining, she'll play, which is really cute. And this slide here, so this is a compilation of different pictures that I wanted to share just so that you can get an idea of how Roz has impacted our family. So the picture of Roz with our cat, Jade, the reason I put that in is because Julian is actually the one that fostered the relationship between the cat and the dog. He's the one that actually got the dog to like the cat, to get along with each other. So he has trained the dog to go see the cat. I had no part in that. He literally just kept telling her to go see the cat, go see the cat. And eventually they started, you know, bonding. Now, the cat doesn't love Roz, but Roz loves the cat. And I think that's with most cats and dogs, or the dog usually likes the cat. And so anyway, it's really been a nice bonding experience. Julian really loves watching them interact, and he loves having that part in having them, kind of introducing them and getting them to know each other. And then the bottom picture, that is, we call Jack, the poodle, Roz's boyfriend, because that dog they're inseparable, the two of them. Whenever I tell Roz that Jack is coming over to play, she absolutely is so excited, and she loves it so much. And so I wanted to show that she has a vast experience of lots of experiences that she goes through in a week. She plays with other dogs. She has the cat, and obviously Julian is her favorite person. So that is always the person that she tends to look for, especially when he comes home from school. She runs and looks for Julian. Just trying to think if there's anything else I missed. No, I just wanted to thank everyone, all the volunteers, for everything you've done for Roz, for our family. She is absolutely amazing. We love her so much. She's been such a blessing to our family. She's been a blessing to Julian, and we couldn't have asked for a better companion dog. So thank you so much, all of you volunteers. Your hard work, your dedication, it does not go unnoticed, and we can't thank you enough from the bottom of our hearts for everything you've done for our family. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay.
So nice to hear your story, and it sounds like Roz and Julian get into lots of adventures together, so that's really nice to see.
They do. They're quite the pair.
All right, so I'll pass it back over to Tim. Have we made progress, Tim?
Well, we'll see. This is just going to be a very brief slideshow. I like what Nancy had done. This guy, just so that you're all aware, there's a lot of new people in NSD, volunteers and whatnot. We have had 2 service dogs for Matthew. Matthew is on the autism spectrum scale. He is what I call my man child now. He's 28 years old. He was pretty much nonverbal as well, up to about the age of 6 or 7. Then we would get a couple of words out of him here or there, but there were no sentences that were strung together. My wife had heard about the NSD program. I believe it was, the first dog was Shadow, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyways, this woman was part of the support group for the Cambridge chapter of, I guess, the Autism Society of Ontario. They're going back a number of years now, and my memory isn't quite as good as it used to be. We applied for a service dog, and like everybody else, we knew there was going to be a fairly substantial rate for the dog. We got a visit by one of the NSD people, came over to the house, and they brought a dog with them. And they wanted to see how well Matthew interacted with the dog, and basically to check out the space as well. They were looking for a fenced yard, that sort of thing. And we met all the requirements that way. And obviously Matthew impacted the trainer to such a way that, you know, he felt that he was deserving of a dog. And so in November 2003, I believe, I went to team training for a week, and we were paired up with a beautiful black Labrador retriever by the name of Cooper. Now, Cooper obviously has passed since then. We had him for almost 14 years. So he did very well. And he worked every day of the week. We actually had Matthew pulled out of the school system where we are in the region of Waterloo, because we felt that they were failing him with services. And we put him into a private school in Burlington that was specifically set up to work with kids on the autism spectrum. Excuse me. They welcomed Matthew and Cooper with open arms there. In fact, Cooper became sort of the school mascot. You know, we're talking about a program of at the most 10 kids, 10 to 12 kids, and with 3 up to 4 instructors. So the teacher to instructor to, child ratio was really, really good. And together with their approach, and with Cooper being by their side, Matthew, he just excelled. What can I say? He got to the point where you can't shut him up. Now, yeah. So, anyways, it came time that for Matthew to leave the private school, because he would only go up to grade 9, and then he had to go back into the regular system, which he did. Cooper attended that school with him for about 1.5 years. He blew out his ACL, so we ended up having to retire him. Cooper wasn't very happy about that because he loved to work. As you find out, most of these dogs love to work. After that, we were paired up with another beautiful dog, a golden retriever by the name of River. River, he just picked up where Cooper left off, and it was great. The two of the dogs at home, there was never any conflict. River actually showed the greatest respect towards Cooper. I guess it was his alpha thing, but regardless of what it was, I mean, the two were just wonderful together, and it was even was better for Matthew. As you know, and as Nancy has said, these dogs are just incredible. They sense behaviors, and my son, notwithstanding, had every one of them that Nancy has already spoke about, and we, like I said, we welcomed Cooper and River in there because it became a challenge for us, and well, for me particularly, I became ill a number of years ago. I was diagnosed with PSP, which we call progressive supranuclear palsy. And with that comes a dementia, executive dysfunction dementia. So I have problems with words, aphasia, that type of thing sometimes. But we needed some extra support here at the house, and River came along, and like I said, he picked up where Cooper had stopped, and continued the great work that as all of the service dogs have done. Last year, I guess a year ago, February, River went across the Rainbow Bridge. So we were without a dog for some time. It was also a very difficult time for us as well, because in March of 2020, my wife died of cancer. So that just left Matthew and I here at the house and River. And it was a difficult time, as I'm sure you all can imagine. And I remember at one point, and we're in the middle of the pandemic as well, I put a call through to Danielle Forbes, and we're talking about a replacement dog. And I felt, as Nancy did, we didn't need a service dog, like a full service dog. Matthew needed more of a companion with some skills, and somebody that he could hang out with and, and play, which they do all the time. I would be remiss to say that he hasn't helped me as well, during my own grief journey. The dogs, they're instinctive, they're intuitive, they know when there's issues long before you actually have it. And he's been great for Matthew, and he's been great for me. Let's see if I can get that going now. Here we go. Okay. I'll just let this run through, and then we'll just review the slides for you. You can see Scotty is very much at home now. He smiles for back rubs and belly rubs. His feline friend is named Lucy. She takes care of him. There's Scotty. And the two of them cuddle time. I'm out of the picture. And you can see he gets a big, beautiful smile. He likes to help me outside as well. There's Matthew. And Matthew again. Okay. Yeah, screen sharing. So, apart from the obvious, like Scotty is he's a furry guardian angel. He's a beautiful dog, beautiful temperament, and he likes to make friends as well very quickly. He has become what I call the socialite of the neighborhood dogs. I have two dogs beside me. I have another two dogs behind me, and one of them is a shepherd. And she was very aggressive towards him in the beginning, but Scotty sort of broke down that barrier, and the two play all the time on opposite sides of the fences, mind you. But it's kind of funny when I go to let them out, you look over the yard because we can see up and over their back fence, and to see if her name is Freya, if she's out. If she's not out, he will run down to the fence and he'll let out one bark. It's like, hey, I'm here. You want to go hang out? And they do this back and forth, and they run back and forth, playing little games along the fence line and that. But I don't know if I can get this thing to keep going. I apologize for my lack of tech savvy here. Okay, screen controls. Yeah. So you will notice in a couple of those slides, we have a little feline family member, and her name is Lucy. We have an older one as well. Her name is Becky. She's much more docile, more quiet, more reserved. Lucy is a little bundle of energy. Um, and her and Scotty just, they get along very, very well and have provided so much entertainment uh, for us, and especially for Matthew. Um, you don't hear him laughing very much, and the odd time you do, all I'll have to do is look around the corner, and I'll know it'll be Scotty and Lucy up to some kind of hijinks, and it's good because you, like I said, it's a real laugh, it's a belly laugh, and I don't see that as much or hear that as much as I had, in the last several years. Um, I don't know if I can get anywhere here. Anyways, to say that Scotty has been a blessing is an understatement. He's been so much more than that. He's a furry guardian angel, as were the other dogs, but Scotty, he's unique, and you would think that he's a husky because he's very vocal, and he'll tell you when he wants out. He'll tell you if you're not playing with him. Uh, he'll tell you that Lucy won't let him by on the stairs. Like Matthew said to me one afternoon, he says, I can't believe this, he won't go past the cat because she won't let him go by. And he's sitting here whimpering. And I said, well, let the two of them work it out. And they did. We are especially thankful for Scotty. It's this time because, as I said, it's been very, very difficult for us. As my disease progresses, I get to do less and less, and Scotty does more and more. One of the issues with this particular disease, because it's a neurodegenerative disease, and it affects personality, and I have issues with what we call sundowning, where I just sort of withdraw and I need to be by myself for a while, and I get agitated. But I always count on Scotty. He seems to know. You'll just look at Matthew. He's like, I'm going to go downstairs with Papa now, okay, for a while, and it's all good. It helps. It takes the edge off. It doesn't take it completely away, but he takes the edge off, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I don't know that I can add much more than that to it, but I too, and we too are very, very thankful for all of the hard work that all the volunteers have put in. The rewards, we see them every day, just from the simple little things, the patience, the commands, they're there, for me, and for Matthew. Matthew still has a number of behaviors, and he can be rather loud. But Scotty's a good buffer that way. When he sees it, he senses it. He's right up beside him, and like with the other dogs, it's sort of redirecting him, and it will get him calmed down to the point where we can actually talk and discuss whatever it is that's bothering him. So yeah, I said it. We can't thank you enough. He was a perfect fit, and I think when I believe it was Amy first called me, and after I had called Danielle. We were talking about a companion dog. And so I was sort of under the impression I'd be waiting on him for a good year and a half. And when I got the phone call a few months later, I was sort of gobsmacked, but hey, I was most appreciative. And when she said to me, "I think we have found the perfect match for you and Matthew," I was only hopeful, you know what I mean? I didn't know, all the dogs have been great, but our circumstances have changed since then. It's a whole new dynamic in this household. But yeah, he's made it. I was mentioned to Amy one time earlier, and even Emma prior to this, when we finished the day of our team training down there on Highway 97 there at Cambridge. We got back home, Scotty and I let him just drop the lead, let him run around the house and check things out, as I've done with the other dogs in past, and has been encouraged by the instructors there. It came time to introduce him to Matthew. Now Matthew was still asleep at that time because he had been up making YouTube videos all night. That seems to be his thing. But I had opened the door. I didn't even get the door open, and Scotty had barged in, and Matthew was under the covers. He made a beeline right towards him with no prompts on my part, and went right to Matthew. And he nuzzled under the blankets, went in there, and big, wet, slobbery kisses, and he woke Matthew up. But to see Matthew wake with smiles on his face was just, it was beyond words. It was just something that you could feel. It was heartfelt. And I guess that bond was instantaneous. Because he said to me, he says, "Can dogs be reincarnated?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." He said, "Because I think this is Cooper all over again." And I looked at the dog, and I've watched him, I followed him around, and there are a lot of traits that the other dogs had that Scotty was displaying. Now, some of that's just sort of specific to the breed, but there is something quite special about Scotty. There still is something quite special about Scotty. And I can't tell you how much of a positive impact that he has had for Matthew and for me as well. And Lucy loves him as well. As he said, they've been a source of entertainment. I have PSWs that come into my house 5 days of the week for a few hours to help me out, and they have Matthew for a couple of other hours, and they are just taken back by this dog. They can't believe how well behaved he is, and they all want to take him home. It's not going to happen. And so like I said, he has found a place in everybody's heart, even in my grandchildren, that when they come over to visit, and my stepkids here and there when they get over. He's well behaved. He waits till he's released, and once he's done that, though, it's just he's all in. And as you can see by the pictures that I showed you, he loves his belly rub. He'll give you a smile if you do it, right? And life has been better for us now. It's not perfect, but it has made this grieving process a whole lot easier now that we have somebody else to share it with. And he does a great job of that. So, when we get stuck, we get past, can't get past things, Scotty helps. And it's something he does instinctively. I don't even have to give him a command for that. Yeah, time will happen, go visit, or go over, a hug type of thing. But generally, I don't have to even cue him for that. And I'm very, very, very thankful. And I know Matthew is too. As I said, he's used to be nonverbal. Now you can't shut him up. But he's a very, very big boy. And I have a lot of pictures, but unfortunately they have him without his shirt on, and he just didn't want that. So the pictures that you did see, I was fortunate to catch him at that point in time when I had him there. And Scotty was all willing to step up because he's by his side all the time. I don't know that I can add much more to that. I'm happy to share pictures, and I have done so, because it just makes me feel. It gives me a little more hope. Now that I have somebody else that can carry some of the load for me, and Scotty does that. And I don't even have to give him the cues for it. He just does it instinctively, and I know that's something that the trainers there and the volunteers have worked very, very hard at. And as I said, I really can't thank you enough. And I know Wendy can't thank you enough. He wouldn't tell you that because, as Nancy knows, Matthew, he's a very complex kid. He has OCD as well, ODD as well on top of that, ADHD. So I've got quite a mixed bag I have to deal with. And Scotty's been my savior. So once again, a big thank you to everybody at NSD and all of the puppy raisers and all of the volunteers. You don't know how much the work that you've put in is appreciated, until you can hear it from people like me and Nancy. We can send pictures, and talk them all up, but to see the results firsthand, it's just amazing. As I said, I feel that I can move forward now as my disease progresses. That knowing that Scotty is here, to help along. And, I mean, there are other supports in place, but I feel that much better that Matthew has got a furry companion, a furry guardian angel to help him, as our journey continues further on. So once again, a very big thank you, big heartfelt thank you to everyone there involved in the process.
Thank you so much for sharing, Tim. It's really great. You're absolutely right. We all love to hear these stories and hear firsthand just how much these dogs mean to both of you and all of our clients. It really makes all of our work worth it. Do any of the volunteers have any questions for either of our guests before we
If I
log
could just interject for 1 second, there's something that I would like to say. I use a mobility scooter. So at night, you see a lot of people walking their dogs, and that we do a walk and roll is what I call it. Not rock and roll, but walk and roll. And yes, I've got my earbuds in, I'm playing music, and Scotty's right there by my side as we're going through the neighborhoods, and he's very good when he's on leash. He knows. I don't even have to tell him, leave it when the other dogs come by. I think most of the people in our neighborhood know that we've had dogs over the years, so they just assume that he's another working dog. And you know, I'm proud to show them off.
Thanks for sharing that, Tim. We did have one question come through. So Tom was asking what skills the dogs are taught, and I can probably tackle that one. So for the most part, now a lot of our skilled companion dogs are taught very, very similar skill sets to our service dogs. So like Scotty and Roz know support skills like chin, visit. I think those guys would know lap maybe.
Yeah.
Also
Hug.
hug.
She can do hug. Yeah.
Still working on
Close.
things.
Yeah. And some of the dogs also learn over. It really depends. We'll start with like the baseline skills, which are usually those ones, and then just tweak it based on the specific family and their needs. So some of them don't need all of these skills, so we'll focus on some a little bit more depending on what they're looking for. And some need a few other things. Like Tim said, if they have mobility aid or something we work around, then we work with the dogs to make sure they're comfortable with that and how to work around that beforehand also. So very, very similar to our service dog programs as far as skills go. Their training takes a little bit of a shorter period of time just because they are working at home, so we don't have to proof their skills in quite as many environments as we would a service dog.